What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY in uninvested cash. This offer has been extended until the end of March, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the markets. So today was a very, very important day. It was not only Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but also Trump's inauguration. So the first thing I want to say is that we have to remember what today is. It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's important to remember the sacrifices that were made to make America what it is and what it really took for us to get the freedoms that we currently have. So, with that being said, please remember the legacy and the work of Martin Luther King Jr. and the entire civil rights movement and everyone else that was involved. And then on top of that, I just want to say that it was also Mr. Trump's inauguration day. So that's another very important day for American history. As you guys could tell, the market was holding up very well on Friday, possibly in anticipation of this. And as time continues, we are still looking very bullish on the charts if some key levels holds. So the question is, why is this going to be affecting Tesla and what's happening with this inauguration? Well, the first thing worth remembering is that, one of the first things I noticed was that we saw lots of those big tech CEOs at Trump's inauguration. We saw Elon Musk there. We saw Sundar Pichai from Google. We saw Jeff Bezos from Amazon. He's still an executive, though, even though he's not CEO anymore. We also saw Tim Cook was there. So was Mark Zuckerberg and lots of these big tech CEOs. So Elon Musk was very optimistic. He was just clapping. He was very excited about a lot of the things Mr. Trump was saying. And Trump gave his speech, which was very important for the markets and such. So, what happened? What did Trump say? In essence, he was very optimistic about his administration, and he promised there's going to be big changes coming to the US that are going to transform the way things are currently being done. He also said that he maintained his current stance on what he thinks about businesses and how he's going to shift policies. Trump is in favor of increasing tariffs and charging other countries more for trade. And then simultaneously, he was going on about how he's very pro business. He wants to put America first. He's going to deregulate to a much larger extent, which is going to be benefiting a lot of companies such as Tesla. That's a very, very big factor for them for the very, very long term, especially for AI development and FSD. He also went on about how he wants to reduce taxes on individuals and businesses, which was once again very, very good for everyday Americans in a lot of different ways and other factors like that. But with that being said, the effect and the view this is going to have on the stock market is very different. I'm not here to say that Trump is right about this. He's wrong about that. Trump is not perfect. Biden's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And everyone can have their own views, right? You have the rights to respect him, like him. You have the right to dislike him. I completely respect that. But I'm just here to say that with whatever Trump has said, is going to instill confidence in the markets in a lot of different ways because Trump is very optimistic about what's about to come in his administration. And many of these big tech CEOs were just a symbol of how he's very pro business and he's very pro America. That's going to be very huge for at least the stock market moving forward. Trump went on, he gave a speech. He went on about how he really wants to help bring gas prices down in a lot of different ways. That's going to be affecting a lot of businesses as well. And there's other factors that are going to be affecting us. But like I said before, you guys can think whatever you want. I respect your opinions, but Trump is going to be helping the share prices of a lot of these different companies. I think that a lot of businesses are going to be very much in favor of what he's about to say, and the stock market is very excited about him. And the reason for that is because the first thing worth remembering is that we had a massive Trump rally that was going on during his administration. And then when he won the election back in November, when Trump won the election, he caused the market to run like crazy. The market made a very, very big move. And now with his inauguration and with what he has said, I think that that's also going to be very positive for the stock market, especially stocks like Tesla. So right now we're still favoring the upwards direction. So with that being said, what else is happening? Two last things I just want to mention that we have Charles Schwab, 3M, and a few more of these companies announcing earnings before market open. Then we have Netflix and United Airlines after market close. So it's going to cause some volatility. Besides that, I didn't see anything too crazy involving Tesla. There was some news that the cybercab was spotted with the steering wheel, raising some questions about it. Once again, guys, nothing is confirmed right now. As of right now, Tesla's announced there's not going to be a steering wheel. They could just be experimenting with it, trying to do different things. And then there's also going to be, other people who are going to remotely control it, just for safety reasons, just to start things off. And as time goes on, this is going to be a very, very bullish catalyst. So nothing's confirmed yet. This could just be another prototype where Tesla's working on certain things, and we'll see what this leads to. So I'm not going to make any. Besides that, I didn't see anything else that was too crazy on the news. Elon Musk was there at Trump's inauguration. He was very, very optimistic. Like I said before, he was very excited, and I think that that's going to have a big effect on Tesla because it's very symbolic about what this means, at least for the company moving forward. Musk believes that there's going to be a big wave of innovation coming, and he's very, very much in favor of this administration. So seeing him being excited about it, saying it's very big for Tesla, is going to instill more confidence amongst these investors. I think that's going to have a big effect on why Tesla's about to push higher. So, what do I see for Tesla? And here's my view. I'm going to be very unbiased when I say this and tell you what's very probable. The first thing worth mentioning is that we're trying to break resistance right now, right? We had this trend line of resistance that was slowing Tesla down back in December many, many times. And for the first time, Tesla's now trying to break this. So that's a bullish signal. Now, if you want to turn bearish on Tesla, if you want to see Tesla dump, we need to see it lose at least this 411 area where this trend line happens to be, and also very close to our 50 EMA. So if Tesla were to lose the 410 area, we're looking for a dip back down to about 400 flats, just hypothetically. But if we push above and we continue to hold this trend line right over here, as long as we're above 420 at the very least, I think we could continue to slowly uptrend for the 450 plus targets, especially because on the daily chart, Tesla has a lot of gaps to fill in the 450s. So if you look at the daily chart like this, we're nearing a bullish cross in the PPO. The daily and weekly is looking strong, as I showed you guys in my earlier video. And there's this big gap to fill around 454, which I think Tesla could be going for. So in my view, seeing that Elon Musk is pro-Trump and how this is going to affect things, I think we favor upside. I think we're trying to break resistance right over here. So we have this blue trend line of resistance right over here that was acting as a big stall. And now Tesla's breaking out right here. So as long as we maintain this channel, I think we favor upside. So with that being said, you guys know the bullish and bearish cases and the levels to watch for. As long as we're above 420, I favor the upside. And I think Tesla will slowly continue to channel upwards for that 450 target. I think there's a lot of buyers who are gaining confidence, and this is going to continue to push. So 450 looks like a very, very plausible target for Tesla. I think we continue to pump even higher. Going back, now we have other tickers out there, such as SPY. So as far as stocks like SPY are going, we're looking more bullish right now as we're trying to break out. As long as we're above this trend line, I think we favor the upwards direction. If we were to hypothetically lose 595 or even 590, we're looking for a dip back down to fill that gap towards 584. And as long as we're above this trend line, we favor the upwards direction. I think the most likely possibility is we continue to push after Trump's speech because he tends to be very bullish for the markets. I think that the 4 hours looking bullish as we're making higher highs and higher lows and we're looking for a breakout. As long as 595 does not fill, so I think Tesla, not Tesla, SPY goes for the 600 targets, which if we break, we're looking for essentially 605 and 608 as our targets. I think as long as we're above 600, we're going to be going to new all-time highs. I think there's a very good chance we try to push for 600 plus tomorrow and eventually closer to all-time highs. Right now, SPY is looking more bullish. For now, Trump is going to be helping the markets gain more confidence. I think there's a good chance we try to push even higher. For the QQQ, we're trying to see a breakout right over here above this blue trend line of resistance. If we break this and continue to hold above this, we're looking for an attempt for this inverse head and shoulders to pan out. It's looking for essentially 528 as our target. I think there's a good chance we push for 527.5 then 528 plus as the most likely possibility, as the full measured move has not been made yet. And overall, the QQQ looks more bullish with this breakout. If we lose 518, though, I'd be looking for essentially 515 then back down to 512 as our targets. But I think we're favoring essentially much higher levels like 528 plus as the most likely possibility. For others out there, we have in the IWM Russell 2000. We're looking a bit more bullish. We're trying to break resistance here. If we manage to break past 226, we're looking for an attempt to get back up towards 230. If we end up losing support at 222, we're looking for a dip back down towards 220. This is showing some strength that's just trying to break out here, but it has not broken resistance at 226 yet to really start pushing. If we break 226, I'm looking for an attempt to get up into the 230s, so I see potential in the IWM. For ES, we look a bit more bullish. Now, if we were to hypothetically lose 6,000 flats, that's very close to where this trend line is. We're looking for a dip back down to 5980 or below. As long as we're above 6,000 and this resistance right here at 6,040, which is now support, I think we favor 6,100 plus as the most likely possibility. So there's an attempt to break out right here past this trend line of resistance on ES. So it's favoring 6,100 plus. We'll see just to be safe for confirmation, but with Trump's speech, that's going to help this thing possibly gap up and then start going. So I see potential in this. For NQ is looking more bullish. We got a nice breakout attempt right here. We're breaking this resistance trend line very, very nicely. I think there's a very, very good chance it's going to try to continue this pump. Now, looking at other factors, we have for now not only a breakout, but there's also that inverse head and shoulders. There's this left shoulder here, a head down here, then a right shoulder. The full measured move takes us up to about 22,000. So I think this is favoring upside for the breakout. So long as we don't end up losing 21,400, I think we favor a continuation to about 22,000. For Bitcoin, we're looking decent. We're trying to hold support at the 50 EMA. As long as this holds, we could try to bounce, start pushing for 106,000 plus or above. So I think that this is going to dip a little bit more to about 101,000, or maybe a little bit lower. Then it could try to bounce after Trump's speech. So I do think that there's potential in Bitcoin to go even higher. For Nvidia, now I'm just going to talk about more individual tickers from this point on. So just bear with me if I go a little bit fast. But one thing worth mentioning is that Nvidia and its CEO were talking about how the current administration or the previous administration under Biden did not really please them in every way. And once again, guys, when it comes to politics and stuff, I'm not trying to be very biased when I say things. I'm just trying to spit the facts. So if Nvidia, its CEO, and etc. have these views, like I'm just here to respect them and just tell you what they're essentially thinking. So just keep that in mind. I'm not trying to say that Jensen Huang is right or wrong or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. So as far as the market's going, I think that there's going to be more confidence thanks to that. Looking at Nvidia's charts, there is a possible cup and handle like structure that could be developing. But that depends if we can try to break past that 140 resistance. If we get it back above 140, we're going to be very bullish, looking for 144 plus as a target, eventually the 150s. If we end up losing essentially 132, we're looking for a dip back down towards 128. I think Nvidia is favoring 144 plus tomorrow, if not higher, forming a nice double bottom and also kind of like a cup and handle. So I think that this is going to be favoring more upside as the most likely possibility. So please keep that in mind. And once again, guys, Tesla is looking more bullish. We're doing a good job at holding up right now, so I think we still favor upside for us to get closer to 450. But going back to Nvidia, if we were to lose 135, we're looking for 133 as our target where that gap happens to be. If we break past 140, we're looking for essentially 144. So just keep that in mind. For others out there, we happen to have Aapl, which is showing a little bit of weakness. I want to see it hold above 230. If we could hold that, we're looking for a 233.5, then eventually 235 as our targets. But we need confirmation, which is going to be a hold above 230 just to see this push higher. For Netflix, we look very promising. We have a nice looking double bottom here, forming a cup and handle as well. If it breaks 864, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to 875. And if we end up losing 858, we're looking for 851 as our support. I'm favoring 864 to break, then eventually the 870. So I think that looks a bit more bullish. For MSTR or MicroStrategy, we look a bit more bullish, forming an inverse head and shoulders and a double bottom. This could be favoring a push all the way into the 400s, especially towards 420. If we end up losing 380, we're looking for a dip lower, but I think this is favoring 420 plus and higher levels. For Celsius is looking a bit more bullish as well. I just want to mention that we're doing a very, very good job so far trying to hold our key support right now. Just like MicroStrategy, I think that we're seeing a lot of buyers who are returning, and this is going to help things in a lot of different ways. So for now, we're also favoring the upwards direction for an attempt to get to these higher levels. So that being said, there's like a double bottom forming. If we could get back above 28, we're looking for an attempt to get back up towards 30, in my personal opinion. There's a double bottom here, and as long as we get back above 28, I'm looking for that 30 target. So I see a lot of potential in the chart, at least nonetheless. For Supermicro, we have a nice double bottom that's also forming right over here. If we break past 32, I'm looking for an attempt to get back up to 34 plus. So just keep that in mind. There's going to be a lot more potential, at least nonetheless. Palantir looks bullish as long as we're above 70.79. I'm looking for an attempt for 75 to fill some imbalances, forming a nice cup right here. So I think 75 is a very, very good target. For Rivian needs to hold 14. If we lose that, we're looking for a dip back down towards 13.5. As long as we hold this, though, we could be bouncing for 15 plus. So I see that to be very, very probable. For SoFi, SoFi is looking promising as well. If we could try to hold above 16 flat, I'm looking for an attempt to get up to 17.5 as the most likely possibility. We have a resistance up here, which I think we might be trying to push for, especially because of the effect we're seeing from big bank earnings. 17 plus is a very, very nice target for SoFi, which I think we could easily break as long as we start to see a lot more of these buyers who are returning. So, once again, guys, the potential is still there for these buyers to return. Looking at others out there, I'm just trying to make this very clear. Thanks to Trump's inauguration, we're seeing a lot more of these buyers who are returning. They're really helping the share prices and charts pump a lot more. And it's basically forming what could be like what's known as like an everything squeeze. So I see a lot of potential for that. Looking at AMD, I'm hoping this is showing for you guys. I think my screen is lagging just a little bit. I do apologize about that. But AMD is also holding up quite well. It could continue this pump all the way back up towards the $125 area. If we were to lose 121, we could be looking for a dip back down to 119. But for now, I'm looking for essentially 125 as our potential target. So I see that this is looking quite strong. So overall, it's doing a good job, and I think there's a good chance we continue. We have a double bottom forming on Coinbase. As long as we don't end up losing 290, I think we favor basically 308 plus. So I think it's doing a very, very good job so far. Amazon has a nice inverse head and shoulders that could be looking for a target of about 228. So as long as we're above 222, I think we favor trying to push up for 228 plus. So there's most definitely potential in this nonetheless. There's an inverse head and shoulders on Meta. As long as we don't end up losing 608, I think we favor a bounce for essentially 625 or above. So I see potential in that. For others out there, such as Microsoft, we're also looking bullish. Very similar setup to try to get back up to about 435 plus with the inverse head and shoulders. So I'm looking for 435 as our target or above, especially if we have this imbalance to fill. So overall, I think we're doing a great job, at least thus far. With that being said, Google has a similar setup looking bullish, inverse head and shoulders as well. I think there's a lot of potential in this. I also want to mention that the VIX, although this was trying to bounce the last time we looked at it, there could still be a big shift in it. It could still dump as it has a lot of gaps to fill below. So we'll see if those gaps get filled. So looking at the charts down here, we do have these gaps. There's a gap to fill back in the 14s, another one in the 13s. So if this is a bigger rejection, this could be a sign the VIX is going to dip lower after Trump's speech. So we'll see what that leads to. So as of right now, the market's looking more promising, more optimistic, and more bullish after Trump's speech. We'll watch our levels just for confirmation, just to be safe, but just know that right now the upside potential remains and is still there. Tesla, of all things, is also very optimistic after Trump's inauguration because, once again, Elon Musk was there. He was very excited about what Trump had to say, and he's going to be working under Trump's administration for Doge, and he's saying that Trump's inauguration is very big for them. So I can't wait to see what that leads to. So as of right now, I think Tesla will continue to respect this range right over here, making higher highs and higher lows. As long as we don't end up losing 420, I think we continue to push up to about that 425 target, and eventually up towards the 440s and 450s. So I see a lot of potential in Tesla nonetheless. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Please have a good rest of your Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Please enjoy what life has to offer. I'll be back tomorrow morning for another update. Until then, I thank you for listening, and peace out.